Hi there. Today we'll explain why setting it up without a tax accountant is risky and could cost you HMRC fines.
Okay, so let's get straight into it. What if I told you that starting in April 2026, one small slip up in your books could land you a £200 fine, and then another 200 for the next mistake, and the one after that? Now, this isn't some scare story. For hundreds of thousands of UK business owners, this is the new reality. A massive tax shift is on its way, and honestly, being unprepared just isn't an option anymore. And we're not talking about some niche rule for giant corporations here. This is about over 864,000 sole traders and landlords all across the UK who are about to fall under these new rules. So if you run your own business or you rent out property, this is aimed squarely at you. The clock is well and truly ticking, and this change is mandatory. So, how on earth do you make sense of it all and steer clear of the pitfalls? Well, we've worked directly with the expert tax advisors at My Tax Accountant to put this whole guide together. They're on the front line, helping businesses just like yours get ready for this, day in, day out. And the biggest question they get asked is, why do I really need a professional to help me set this up? Over the next few minutes, we're going to answer that exact question, using their essential insights. We've got a really clear path laid out for you. First, we'll break down what this major tax shift actually is. Then, we're going to walk through what's called the DIY minefield. And trust me, you'll want to hear this part. We'll look at the different software choices you're going to face, get to grips with HMRC's tough new penalty system, and then lay out a proper accountant's blueprint for getting this right. And finally, we'll cover how you can get MTD ready starting today. Right, let's get into it. This big change is called Making Tax Digital for Income Tax Self-Assessment, or MTD for ITSA for short. Put simply, HMRC is getting rid of the single annual tax return that you're probably used to. You know that mad rush in January? It's being replaced by a system where you have to keep digital records and send HMRC updates every single quarter. It's less like a new tax and more like a government-mandated upgrade to your whole financial admin process. Now, this isn't happening to everyone all at once. It's being rolled out in phases. The first big deadline is April 2026, and that's for anyone with a qualifying income over £50,000. Just a year later, in April 2027, that threshold drops to $30,000, which is going to pull in a huge number of smaller businesses. The really crucial thing here is that first deadline is coming up much faster than you think. Getting compliant takes time. So what does MTD actually require you to do? Two things. They are absolutely non-negotiable. First, you have to keep all your business records digitally. The days of that shoebox stuffed with faded receipts, they're officially over. Second, you must submit your updates to HMRC using MTD-compatible software. This isn't optional, it's a legal requirement, and it completely replaces the old self-assessment process for your business or property income. So, who needs to be paying attention? Well, this applies to sole traders. Doesn't matter if you're a freelance web designer in London or a cafe owner in Manchester. It also hits landlords, whether you're renting out a flat in Birmingham or you have property overseas. Now, stay with me, because this next bit catches so many people out. The income threshold is based on your total gross income, your turnover, before you deduct any of your expenses. So if your annual sales are £60,000, but your profit is only $25,000, you are still in the firing line for that first April 2026 deadline. And that brings us to a really, really important point. With a change this big, it's so tempting to think, oh, I'm pretty good with computers, I can handle this myself. But trying to navigate this alone, it can be like walking through a minefield blindfolded. The new rules are complex, the technical bits are really specific, and the potential for making costly mistakes is incredibly high. Let me just ask you a straight question. Do you think that spreadsheet you've been using for years is good enough for MTD? It's one of the most common and, honestly, one of the most dangerous assumptions business owners are making right now. The answer, I'm afraid, is a hard no. Not on its own, it isn't. Let's break down exactly why. Here are the top 5 mistakes people make when they try to go it alone. The biggest one is just waiting too long. This isn't a switch you can just flick overnight. Another is failing to keep records in real time. That old habit of sorting out a whole year's worth of paperwork in one go is now completely non-compliant. And then you've got the technical traps, like not really understanding what a digital link is or picking the wrong software, which can lead you straight into hot water with HMRC. So what on earth is a digital link? This is a really crucial idea from HMRC. Imagine your data is like water flowing through a sealed pipe. A digital link is that automated, untouched transfer of data from one bit of software to another with no human meddling. What it is not, and this is the key bit, is you manually copying a total from your spreadsheet and pasting it into another program. That simple action breaks the digital chain and makes your entire submission non-compliant. Okay, here's a massive tip from the experts at My Tax Accountant, and I'm going to say it again because it is that important. Your MTD start date is decided by your total sales, your gross income, not your final profit. So many business owners get this wrong. They look at their small profit and think, phew, I'm safe for a few more years. But HMRC is looking at the top line figure. Please don't get caught out by this. It's the #1 reason people will get penalized when they didn't even know they were supposed to be filing it. So once you realize your old trusty spreadsheet isn't going to cut it, you arrive at this confusing crossroads, choosing the right software. Your two main paths are something called bridging software or a full MTD software package. This is another one of those areas where taking a wrong turn can be both expensive and incredibly frustrating, not just for your taxes, but for how you run your business day to day. Let's break this down a bit. Bridging software is, well, it's basically a sticking plaster. It lets you keep using your spreadsheet and just acts as a bridge to fire the final numbers over to HMRC. It seems cheaper and easier at first because you don't have to change the way you work. But, and it's a big but, it has serious drawbacks. It's still incredibly prone to manual errors, it has very limited features, and it absolutely does not scale up as your business grows. It's a short-term fix for what is a very long-term change. Now, what's really interesting here is you can see exactly what you're missing out on with that short-term fix. Full MTD software, like Xero or QuickBooks, is a total game changer. It can link directly to your bank account, let you snap photos of receipts on your phone to log them instantly, and can even give you a real-time estimate of your tax bill. You see, it's not just about being compliant. It's about giving you a powerful tool to actually understand and manage your business finances properly every single day. And just to add a bit more pressure into the mix, HMRC is bringing in a brand new penalty system specifically for MTD. This is not the old system of fines you might be used to. It's a points-based system, and it's designed to punish persistent non-compliance. What that means is that from 2026, there is simply no room for casual mistakes or missed deadlines. Stay with me, this next part affects every single person who has to file under MTD. So, how does it work? It's actually quite simple and very strict. Every time you miss a submission deadline, and remember, you've got 4 of these a year now, plus a final declaration, you get 1 penalty point. These points then start to add up. Once you hit the points threshold, an automatic financial penalty is triggered. And believe me, it doesn't stop there. And what is that magic threshold? It's 4. That's it. For quarterly filers like you'll be, it only takes 4 missed deadlines to get hit with an automatic £200 fine. Let's make this really simple. Miss your update in July, that's 1 point. You're swamped with work and missed the October one, that's 2 points. A family emergency in January, 3 points. One more little slip up in April, that's your 4th point, and bang, a £200 fine lands on your doormat. Miss a 5th deadline? That's another 200. It can spiral out of control really, really quickly. Okay, we've covered the complexity, the risks, the software confusion, and the scary new penalties. It can all feel pretty overwhelming, right? But this is where we pivot to the solution. This is the answer to that question, why do I need an accountant for this? There is a clear, professional path to navigating MTD, and it comes in the form of your accountant's MTD blueprint. And this just brilliantly shows the difference. On one side, you've got the DIY approach, full of potential data entry errors, guesswork on which software to even use, and that constant nagging worry that you've missed something. Then on the other side, you have the professional approach. Your systems are checked by an expert, your compliance is guaranteed, and the right software is chosen for your specific business needs, not just the cheapest one. The real value here isn't just about tax. It's about getting your time back and having genuine peace of mind. So what does this blueprint actually look like in practice? Well, an expert from My Tax Accountant doesn't just do your taxes. First, they'll confirm if and when MTD even applies to you, saving you from that nasty gross income trap. Then they'll help you pick and properly set up the right software for your business, not a one-size-fits-all thing. They'll make sure all those tricky digital links are correctly set up. They will manage your quarterly submissions, so you never have to worry about those penalty points. And best of all, they'll handle all the back and forth with HMRC for you. We've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we? From the sheer scale of this change to the risks of getting it wrong and the clear solution that professional guidance offers. The main message is simple. Making tax digital is a huge challenge, but it's completely manageable if you have the right professional plan in place from the very start. So let's talk about your next step. And this really does sum it all up perfectly. The move to MTD is a fundamental shift in how UK tax works. It demands a new way of doing things. But with expert support right from the beginning, it doesn't have to be a source of stress. Actually, by using the right tools and getting the right advice, it can be a fantastic opportunity to get much better, real-time control over your business finances. That 2026 deadline is coming, so the time to prepare is now. You can contact my tax accountant for consultation using the details you see on screen to talk about your specific situation. And please do subscribe to their YouTube channel for more updates like this one. Now, before we finish, just a quick but important disclaimer. This information is for general guidance only and shouldn't be relied on exclusively for your financial decisions. We strongly encourage you to consult with my tax accountant before taking any action. So the final question I have for you is this. Are you ready to face April 2026 with confidence, or are you just hoping for the best?